Wonderful Wife, Great Family equals Life Success by Graham Elphick, North St Mary's 2760. Narrated by David Tredinnick. I was madly in love with a most beautiful and caring lady. She was also madly in love with me. We were married on the 12th of January 1963, and our marriage got off to a wonderful start, with a very bright future in store for us. Or so we thought. Marriage was the ideal situation for us, and we settled into it with joy, love, and optimism. We produced, in the first year of marriage, a wonderful little baby boy, and we thought of just how blessed we were, with me, a fully qualified hand and machine compositor in the printing trade, and my wife as the homemaker and stay-at-home mum. So, we saved diligently, the money for the deposit on a home for our to-be family, and the future again looked rosy. But that is when the earth opened up, and the heavens fell in, and I had a massive mental breakdown. I was locked away in a mental institution for 6 months, and my wonderful wife stayed by my side the whole time, bringing our little son to see me regularly, while maintaining our little rented flat, as the deposit on our house had to be used to pay for my treatment. I was eventually released from the mental institution but couldn't face going back to my old job, so I gained employment as a gardener with the Army at Ingleburn Army Camp. All was once again going well, and I was promoted to head gardener when, disastrously, once again I had another major breakdown. Again, I was locked in a mental institution for 6 months, but luckily I was allowed home at weekends. My beautiful wife fell pregnant while I was home on weekend leave from the mental hospital, so when I came home, once again, we were presented with another beautiful son. The government psychiatrist deemed me as unsuitable for work, so I was placed on an invalid pension, as I suffered with agoraphobia. My wife was unfazed, and still cared deeply and lovingly for me, so took on the job of major breadwinner, and was my total support and the rock for me to lean on. She worked on a baker's run and worked very long hours, with collecting bread money from customers after dark. I managed to work locally, if I was collected from home and taken back and forth to the worksite. I have a great work ethic, but can't travel far from home. This went well, and we again were blessed with the birth of a third son. My wife had to give up the bread run she worked on as a new baby took on full-time care, but luckily for us, we gained employment in a local school, me as a volunteer gardener, on the pension, and my wife studied and became a fully qualified teacher's aide. My ever-loving and true-hearted wife encouraged me and supported me for nearly 40 years in the school, and she also encouraged me to volunteer in my old trade as a hand compositor in a local printing museum. I absolutely loved both these jobs and have stayed at the printing museum for 24 years. My wife and I started work at the school running a breakfast club, which started with a 6-month grant, but became fully functioning with a not-for-profit outlook. We worked as volunteers in the breakfast club there for 24 years, making many friends and seeing many children pass through the school. We are both life members of the school P&C. Our 3 boys and 3 of our grandchildren also passed through our school, which was a complete joy for us. My truly amazing wife works as a volunteer. We are now in our 80s, as a craft leader for a craft group, and also knits lap blankets for a nursing home, and wonderful knitted toys for our 18 great-grandchildren. And we still work at the printing museum, where I am now a life member, and my wife an honorary friend of the museum. She supports all our children, their wives, grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and is always there to help neighbours or anybody in need, and lends a sympathetic ear at all times. Over the years, we have been awarded many honours for our community work and volunteering, all the time having my backup in my wife, supporting me and encouraging me. So we work always as a team. The end.